Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into the episode of The Wunderkind Show. And before we even start, I want to say happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. And shout outs to all of the, the people that protect us and all that stuff, all the armed forces and everything, people that have lost, just memorial to all the family members, stuff like that. Shouts to all you guys. Hope you guys are having a safe Memorial Day, a loving support Memorial Day. Hope you guys are eating some good food. Okay? Got to spend some time with my family. Love every bit of it. But today's topic is based on, first thing first, Nick Wright. And he comes up with a top 10 head coach list. Now, in that head coach list, he got 10 guys. But there's one particular guy that made me go, huh? Usually I got him top 3, top 4, top 5. I couldn't believe it. And it came out, and look at this. Oh! So first things first, Nick Wright comes out with this and says, John Harbaugh is not a top 10 coach. So this wasn't even I'm going to give you the backstory. This wasn't even a John Harbaugh topic. This was a Nick Sirianni topic. He came out and said, look, Nick Sirianni has done very well. I told you he's going to hate on Nick Sirianni because Nick Sirianni's team, it's like he's been hating on Jalen Hurts. They beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and Nick hates whoever beats his team. But he came out and said, yo, he's not a top 10 guy. He said he'd pick Andy Reid. I'm going to show you how this went into a John Harbaugh thing. He said he'd pick Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, Jim Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, Kevin McDonald, Matt LaFleur, Pete Carroll, Dan Campbell, and Sean Payton before they would ever pick Sirianni. Now, he did agree that Sirianni is like 11 or 12. So that would put John Harbaugh at the highest at number 12 on the best coach list. Now, I know there's some Raven fans that are mad about this, saying John Harbaugh's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's been doing it for darn near, was it 16 years, something like that. He deserves the reverence and the respectability that he has earned over time of being a good coach, whatever else it is like that. And look, I get it, but I can't really say that they're wrong. And that's a lot of times what comes down to it, right? For one, there's no way on God's green earth you're picking John Harbaugh over Andy Reid or Sean McVay. I know some Raven fans are going to pick him over Kyle Shanahan, but you're not picking him over Mike Tomlin. You're not picking him over Pete Carroll, Dan Campbell. And there are others. So I was sitting there just like, wow. But this speaks to another thing, and this is what this episode's about. John Harbaugh's had an aura around him. Anything dealing with the Baltimore Ravens and their crew, Harbaugh gets so much adulation for all of their success, regardless of what's going on. He gets a lot of success from it. And then you look back now, you're saying it's looking like finally that one Super Bowl is starting to wear very thin with a lot of pundits, media personnel. And here's why I think why. Because Mike Tomlin's been making the playoffs, and even though they lose in either the first or second round, they've been making the playoffs religiously without a quarterback, without a running back, without, top of the line, O-lines and stuff like that. Somehow every year they make the playoffs. They're out winning the Bengals and sort of stuff like that. They had a year where they even outdid us. I believe they were the first in our division a couple years back. So I look at it to say this. This is the exact reason why I feel John Harbaugh's seat is finally starting to get hot. Because it's not just fans that are seeming to, things are running thin with. It's becoming seemingly clear that the rhetoric of John Harbaugh is becoming worn thin, right, from the media. And they don't want to hear him as being a top 10 guy. Mind you, most Ravens fans argue that he's top 5. They don't even got him top 11. I'm going to read it off to you again. Reed, McVay, Shanahan, Harbaugh, Tomlin. That's your top 5. O'Connell, LaFleur, Carroll, Campbell, Payton. Sirianni comes after them. So the highest on this list being made, he could be his number 12 or maybe 13. Yeah. Just being real, guys. I'm looking at this like, man, that's crazy. But look how much we've had to endure. And look, I'll never say John Harbaugh was a bad coach. You'll never hear it come out of my mouth. What I will say is that John Harbaugh, as much as he'll raise your floor, he's not a coach that raises your ceiling. And guys, he's like a college coach. They buy into his program. It becomes like, who got it better than us and all this stuff. Guys start, doing it a certain way. But that raises the floor of a team. He lacks a lot of times to be able to bring your team to the ceiling. He lacks that ability. So even though he raises the floor, which will then get him in the playoffs, he does not raise the ceiling to allow them to capture multiple Super Bowls or a Super Bowl while you have a top 2 running back, the number 1 player in the league in Lamar Jackson. You used to have an amazing kicker that went up for naught. And you have Kyle Hamilton, the best safety in football. And you got, Isaiah Likely, who I believe could become the number 1 tight end in the NFL. All at your disposal, but somehow, some way, can't get it done. Even, and I don't want you to know what's up, because even when it came up to like the Chiefs game, people were saying how that's not what they ran all practice and stuff like that. They didn't know what they were running. Like, what is this? Why are we running it like this? Harbaugh. Those problems have arisen every single year, regardless of who the offensive coordinator is. And that's why I think the seat for Harbaugh is getting a little hotter. Because with all of this talent and the talent that Lamar Jackson is, the owner's going to start looking at it and being like, why are we not winning a Super Bowl with the best player in football? And then with a top 2 running back in Derrick Henry. How are you not winning? How are you not winning with all these draft picks on defense? All these all-pros on defense? All these Pro Bowls on defense? How are you not winning? Why is our defense a problem? I did have a feeling that's what's going to come down the pike, you know what I'm saying? But saying that this man is in top 5, yeah, I don't believe he's top 5. Told you guys that before. But they're coming out saying he's not even top 10. Yes! This guy, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But what do you guys think? Do you think John Harbaugh is a top 10 coach or a top 5 coach? Or do you think this is the absolute asinine chart, list, ranking, and Nick Wright needs to be slapped right in his face, nose first, just like this? Oh! Let me know what you think down in the comments section, please, all right? But as always, that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show. Thank you for watching again. We get down, we have fun, and we laugh. With everything we talk about, we do what? Facts and truth. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment, guys. You know I love the comment. If you haven't already done so, check out The Wunderkind Morning Show, live Monday through Thursdays, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., where we touch on all hot topics in sports. And we have a little bit of nostalgia trivia at the end of every show to put a smile on your face from the 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s, guys. So be there, be squared. Also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, help out with equipment and such stuff like that, bottom of the screen, QR codes to a Cash App. Cash App located in the description of every video that we do. Name of it is money sign, The Wunderkind Show. Super easy. But that's an episode of The Wunderkind Show. This show is not just signing off, and as always, you know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Huh? Yerp!
Finish him, Daddy.
Do not